Shut up and sit down.
You're the magnet.
I'm the back. Okay. Cute. Does that make you the leader? You inspire?
Yeah.
Welcome back to another episode of the Bias Fact Podcast. You know who I am. I'm Nikki.
You know who I am, QJ.
We got it. And we're gonna talk about the name of our podcast. We're gonna talk about our biases. I feel like it's been a while since we just talked about biases straight up. So, but this was your idea, so do tell.
So I was thinking how, like, you know how you're always like, I have the 1997 curse, or like I have the leader bias and stuff, and I was like, I couldn't really think about what I have because like I don't really tend to lean towards obvious ones like leaders and stuff. So I was like, I kind of wondered like what mine was, but I was like, I looked at I don't know, like I don't know what I was expecting, but I looked up like how to figure out your bias, and I was kind of thinking like it would be along the lines of like a BuzzFeed type quiz where it's like, what's your bias type? But I literally found someone who did like full math about it. And like I got it from a website called Top of the Kpops.
Okay.
And basically they split it up into these categories of bias. Like basically sort of, if you listen to the last episode we did, like the main vocalist, the main dancers, like that, they split it up like in this way, and then like leaders, magnets, and all this kind of stuff. Originally I did what this person did, but then I was like, I took this way too seriously, I'll tell you that right now. I was like, I need more nuance than this. So I broke it down even further from what they said. I got percentages for you. Don't read too far ahead. I don't know if you're reading too far ahead, but don't read too far ahead.
Okay, so we have a shared document. Is probably anyone that, knows how podcasts are. Anyway, and so in this episode, there was a big bold red says, "Do not pass here until we record." I was like, okay. So I just quickly scrolled to see. I was like, oh, girl did some math here.
I got percentages. I got everything. Okay.
Okay, let's go. I'm excited.
And then I'll say, so I messaged you probably like last week to be like, I need you to just like list out some of your biases. And in my mind, I was like, we have to have the same number. So when you finished, I was like, okay, let me add up my numbers. And that's where I started pulling like other people in, like Ateez. We didn't really have Ateez to start, but I was like, well, just put them in because we need a big sample size also. So, but then like after you put your final in, and then you were like, okay, I'm done. I was like, okay, I did the math. And then, like, the next day, you were like, I need to change some things. And I was like, no, we're not adding anybody else because I'm not doing this math again. But this morning, I was awake at, like, 7 a.m. and I added more people. So I took it very seriously, okay? It had to be accurate.
Well, I mean, I'm seeing here, though, just so I know, you put RM as my bias wrecker.
Yeah. I took some liberties, okay? I'll start with, like, so I found, like, just to start, like, a breakdown of different bias types within Kpop. So you have, like, your regular bias, basically just your favorite member, can be based on anything, voice, visual, dance, whatever. Got your bias wrecker, which is usually someone from the same group that catches your attentions and threatens to take over your bias spot. Sometimes they become your bias over time, so watch out. Ultimate bias, it's your favorite among all idol groups across everything. Bias line, which is like when you have several biases from the same group, I guess, that you can't really like define.
Which is so interesting to see it broken down like that, because we've definitely said that without realizing that other people have it. So
that's why I was like, oh, okay, well, I guess I have that instead. And like with Stray Kids specifically, I was like, I definitely have a bias line here and not an actual bias, which is great. And then a whole group bias, which is usually like labeled as OT, and then however many members there are. And that's, you just bias everyone in the whole group. Yeah, I mean, basically biases, like, from our main groups, obviously Jonghyun, Minho, Wonu, Subin, Jackson. This is where I was like, I know. I had to,
Whoa.
because I was taking this so seriously. I originally pulled Hongjoong from Ateez because I was like, this is my original bias. We need to have Ateez in here, whatever. And then, like, I literally sat with it and I was like, now my stuff doesn't feel accurate. Like, it just didn't feel right. And I was like, I don't think it's right anymore. And I was, like, really thinking a lot about it. And, like, right now, in my heart, I think my Ateez bias is Wooyoung.
Oh my god, that is a huge thing.
It's because, like, I think it's because he's been very consistent. Like, from day one, he's always been Wooyoung. He's an attractive guy, he's very funny, he's very friendly, he loves everybody. He's never really changed in that regard, whereas, like, as much I respect Hongjoong on his journey, do what you gotta do, but, like, the DJ thing isn't for me, which is a risky take, right? But Wooyoung has been consistent to me, and I was like, I need accuracy on this, so.
Oh, girl. I like how you're choosing the accuracy for me.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you're right. I mean, you have a point here with the BTS one. You have a point.
Well,
but
so
anyway.
No,
you have a point. Okay?
I know.
I get it.
But I went further into it. So, like, for you, your biases are obviously Wonwoo, Key, Subin. Originally, I meant to change this to, you said your bias for GOT7 now is Bam Bam. I meant to flip them. And then I pulled Ateez, you know, just based off of, like, our earlier bias
I feel like
polls.
he's still pretty accurate.
Yeah, when I said that to you in the chat, you were like, that's not wrong. So I was like, okay, fine.
It's not wrong, yeah. I mean, again, we're going to talk about our biases a bit more, but the Ateez poll is just not as strong as general.
Yeah.
But if I think about it, I do like, you know.
And then bias records, I also have Mingyu, and I have JB from GOT7. You had Hyunjin from Stray Kids, and then flip them. JB, you said JB for GOT7 and Jackson, but, like, you kind of were like, Jackson's, like, your own thing. And look, I put RM here originally for both of us because we said we were OT7, but also, like, it's not right not to have him in there. So in my mind, if you're OT7, but you also favor RM, that would make him a bias record, right? Because he's wrecking your bias line. Okay. But then I had to take a real look inward on my BTS thing, and I think I have a bias line for BTS, and I don't think I'm actually OT7. I mean, I am OT7 because everyone has their moment.
Ooh, that's a good point.
But I think if I'm being real, it's a line. I mean, you can't change now. I'm sorry.
No, I know. But it's this is a conversation. Yeah, the math is math, whatever. So. But I think that's a good point, because a biased line, well, I don't know, maybe I am OT7, I don't know. I mean,
yeah, like, there's times where somebody does something and you're like, I love you. But, like, in my mind, like, I don't really actively bias J-Hope or Jin. But, like, they do stuff sometimes and I'm like, I love you for this. But, like, I've never actually been like, let me get the photo card out, put it on my bag, you know what I mean? So I was like, I think I more so have, like, a biased line. Even, like, Taeyeon was, like, on the fence for me. Like, in terms of, like, a top spot. Just saying. I know. Well, I had to be honest, okay?
No. Yeah, if I'm being like, I know, this is where, like, when I saw RM as a bias record, I was like, that might, like, he's tough. Because
I mean, he could be your bias, too. Just based off of having...
but if we're being real honest this episode, I feel like almost at one point, anyway, Jim was my bias, like, for real. So, I know, I see something down here, something. So, this is where I'm like, I'm really reevaluating, because I don't know. I don't know with BTS. They're so hard.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, go ahead.
So then we have our alts, which is, for me, Yoongi, for you, Bang Chan.
No doubts. No hesitations there, period, ever. Okay.
And then bias line, so, like, for Stray Kids, I was saying, like, I thought I really was, like, a strong Hyunjin, and then before the concert, I was, like, strong Lino, but then I always, like, Changbin, so I was like, I obviously just have a bias line here, which is Lino, Changbin, and Hyunjin.
Again, now that we have a term for it, yes, 100%, Stray Kids has always been a bias line for you, always.
Thank you. Thank you for validating me.
Yeah, you're welcome.
And then, again, I come to, like, terms with myself. I come to Jesus moment with BTS. I was like, obviously my alt is Yoongi, and then I have a line because it's always rotating between RM, Jungkook, and Jimin. I'm putting Jimin in the bias list.
Absolutely.
Because I said from day one, he's the cutest guy I've ever seen.
No,
so...
in the history, go back to like episode
yeah, go
1,
back
2.
and check, I swear.
Because you did, because I was not on the Jimmy train at all. Now I am.
And that's where I was like, it was kind of like, Taeyeon is just a little on the cusp there, but when I really think about it, it's like post-military Taeyeon is something else. But pre-military, like I like layover Taeyeon, but like pre-layover military, he's just fine to me.
He's kind of like Mingyu beef slot now to me.
Too. Like now, like post-military, he's like, whatever you're doing, I'm fine with this.
So, yeah.
Yeah, so that's what
I'm
I pulled.
reckoning with myself right now.
I'm saying.
I don't know if I like it. Sometimes with the biases, I don't necessarily, that's the thing with the bias culture. You don't necessarily want to, or it's not necessarily the one that you think that you should be liking the most. And you respect and love the other one so much that it's so hard. But I think I have to reckon with myself with BTS.
And for a bias line, you put in one us, Lido and Soho, and one we, Kang Young and Younghoon.
Yeah. Which is so funny because I didn't even realize when I because you asked me, you like put more in, do something for one we. I was like, oh, okay, yeah. And my bias lines are both from one us and one we.
Yeah.
And this is why I was so excited about to hear about bias line, because I always liked Soho and Lido, and I just never really, I kind of just said Lido because he's more of the beefcake rapper guy, but I'm like, oh, but I love Soho, I love him. So I'm glad to hear what the bias line, because that's for sure, again, like how you said Stray Kids was the one S was this for sure. So, and then one way I never could really choose between. There's only 5 members, but they were both, they both kind of like combined to one in my mind. So, anyway.
And then so we both originally said OT7 BTS for a whole bias group, and I don't think is wrong, because we do go through phases and stuff, but be honest. So when I got to this point, I was trying to keep the same number of people, and when I reckoned with myself and pulled a BTS bias line, I had 15 biases and you had 14. So I was like, let me pull somebody from BTS. And from early on, you had Jin as basically a bias wrecker. Like you had RM and then Jin basically as your bias and bias wrecker. I was like, I'm assuming that you still love Jin. I'm just assuming. So I pulled him and I put him in your math. Because I was like,
I know, it's so hard. This is what I was talking about. If I am being brutally honest with myself, it might be Jin and then RM's my wrecker. It's kind of crazy because I can't imagine a world where RM's not, but again, that's the world. I don't know, but we're coming to terms right now. I this is fresh, guys. You're putting me, you know me well, so you're kind of putting me okay. Anyway, so now
so you can scroll down a little, but don't scroll too far. Don't look too far ahead. So just some side notes for this with TXT. Nobody had no one's attributed official roles except for leader and Magne. Nobody has vocal, nobody has dancer, nothing like that. They're more fan assigned roles that I had to find. So for this purposes of this exercise, fans mostly see Subin as the vocal and sub rapper. So that's what I put him as.
Okay.
And then I did just to pull from the last episode we did in terms of when it comes to main vocalist, main dancer, lead dancer. The main is the best one, the lead is the second best one, basically. And then later we'll get into visuals, faces, and centers. And again, visual, the hottest guy, face, the most recognizable guy, center, literally the center. Don't look too far ahead. Okay. The top part doesn't matter as much. I basically just had to pull everybody's roles. So
that's what this chart here. You have all of our biases
and all their roles.
Okay, so this is records and lines and everything.
Yeah, this is everybody that we listed above. Bias, record, line. Just not OT7 because it doesn't really help the numbers to have everybody. Basically, the way that this person did it, I think that they just pulled the first position attributed. So when someone's main vocalist and lead dancer and sub, they would just pull main vocalist, which I did to start, but it didn't feel right. Because especially when it comes to like people who are listed first as a main dancer, I'm like, but you also like sing, so like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Or you rap, like you sing or rap, so that also kind of matters to me. So I pulled everyone's details for everything.
I love you for this. This is amazing.
So the first category was rappers versus dancers versus vocalists. That was it, but I added versus other because you introduced instrumentalists into this. Because you're...
True.
The Kang Young from 1W is only listed as a guitarist. No
Guitarist, yeah.
no word association whatsoever. So I was like, well, okay, I'll add an other. That's the other category.
Right.
So for myself, I have, out of 15, 10 rappers on my list, 8 dancers, and 12 vocalists, 0 others. For you, you have 9 rappers, 6 dancers, 11 vocalists, and 2 others.
Fascinating.
I know, right? I have a little summary at the end where I was like, imagine this.
Okay, perfect. I love it. Yeah, fascinating. Interesting.
Yeah, because I think like early, like when we just talk about it, you typically seem to think that you're leaning towards rappers. But
yeah, or dancers too. I love a dance.
Yeah.
I
love a dance.
I love a dance. I do, but I know I hear myself times too. But I love a vocalist, and I grew up with, a family that was very into musical theater and all that stuff. So like, it would make sense that I'm drawn to someone that has a very strong vocal.
Yeah.
Whatever. Okay. Okay, that's good. Yeah. Okay.
So from here, the original article just separated the same information by main, lead, and sub. I separated them by main, lead, and subs for rappers, dancers, and vocalists.
Oh, girl, you are.
This is where I went. This is where I took it really seriously.
I love it.
So, like, for myself, main, not a lot of main, to be honest. Like, 3 rappers, 3 dancers, 3 vocalists are main. Same with, I mean, to be honest, both of us are kind of the same. More of our leanings are, like, subs or... This person called them simply there, which felt really rude to me. So I just called them sub or nondescript.
Wow.
But both of us kind of lean more towards that. So, like, out of all rappers, dancers, and vocalists, I have a leaning towards vocalists at 80% of my people. And most of my vocalists are sub-vocalists. Closely followed by rappers, which was 66% of my total. And again, mainly sub or nondescript rappers, but they also kind of topped my main category was rappers and dancers. So,
Fascinating.
For you, it was similar. Like, most of your stuff is non-subs or nondescript. So 11 out of 15 vocalists at 73%. And 8 of those vocalists being sub or nondescript, but also 3 of them being mains. So, and that was like your top of mains was 3 rappers and 3 vocals. So,
I like the top talent. Okay.
I mean, we both like mid talent apparently, but when it comes to mains, I preferred rappers and dancers, and you preferred rappers and vocalists. When it comes to leads, we both had top dancers.
Okay.
And then when it came to subs, we both had vocals, and then rappers, and then dancers.
But again, this is so funny. Like, I find this endlessly fascinating. But again, where it's like, you're talking about the talent in a group, and I'm like, sub-vocal. Like, come on. Like, so, but I love this. It's so fascinating.
And then so...
Ooh, girl. Okay, at least...
Yeah. So the next category, the person had just done Macne's leaders and visuals. And then... Like, obviously, I saw a lot of people, we had, like, faces or centers, and, like, they're obviously not the same as visuals, but not that far off from it, so I was like, let me just put it in this category. So I have Macne's leaders, visuals, faces, and centers. You? No Macne's. 0.
Yeah, I don't like them young.
I mean, originally... I had 0 as well until I did my BTS Reckoning, and then Jungkook, obviously.
Oh, right.
So now I have 1. And then I've got 3 leaders, and this is where I was like, I had to like really like think about my Ateez thing, because it originally had that was one of my top categories, and I was like, doesn't feel right, because, and like Hongjoong is obviously like changing the numbers there, and I was like, doesn't feel right that they're the top when I'm not that confident in Hongjoong. So that's why I was like, let me just really think about this. So I only have 3,
tracks.
but yeah, you have 5, which is the most. 33% of your biases are leaders.
I've been from day one saying that I am a leader girly. Yeah. I thought Hongjoong was mine at first. No, because I thought he was the leader. Same with JB, but he changed too. So.
And then for me, my top one was visuals, which was at 4, which is 28%. Which, when I really think about it, I was like, that feels right.
You do get drawn in. You very much are like the bee to the flower. So.
And then you only had 2 visuals.
Makes sense.
I think it's Jackson.
Hyunjin. Oh no.
Yeah, Hyunjin and Jackson.
No, Jackson's not a visual. I don't think.
No, you're right.
Who's my visual? You do have Hyunjin, and I'd probably. Oh, never mind. Oh, Jin.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah, I was like, Jin, wait, what am I talking about? Okay.
Worldwide has some people. Okay.
Right. So anyway, that was at 4 and 2, and then centers I had 2 and you had 1. JB is the one center. I don't remember.
Yours is JB and JK.
Oh,
JB,
yeah, JK.
Pro.
And then 2 phases for me and 1 phase for you. One of the phases is Jackson, because you had 0 originally, and when you added him, then you got 1 phase.
Okay.
And then mine is Mingyu and Jackson.
The next section that you have here is shocking to me.
This is from the other person's list. They were like, for some reason, they also added like the height of their idols. So like if you prefer a short idol, if you prefer a mid-height idol, or if you prefer a tall idol. I'm being
emotionally reckoning with myself, because I'm always pride myself on being like, I don't care about a guy's height. Like, truly, I don't. In general, in real life, like, I'm a very short woman. I think in most capacities, people would call me short. So this is... Continue. But shocking to me.
Originally you had 0 short men on your list, but Jackson is the shortest of GOT7, so when you added him, yeah.
I didn't know he was the shortest.
I think he's shortest or second shortest, so that's how I pulled it. Like either the top 2 for height or top 2 for like short or tall. I considered them tallest and shortest, and then everyone else is mid-height. So I think he was the second shortest, but he still falls under the short category. I had 5, which was,
Girl.
Again, I was tied up with Hongjoong because he bumped my numbers up, but for mid-height, I have 4, you have 5, and then for tallest, I had 6 at 40% of my idols, and you have 8 at 53% of your idols.
That actually blows my brains. Like, I'm actually, like...
I mean, to be honest, like, some of these I would not have even thought about. Like, obviously, we know, like, Jin and RM are tall, and we know Yuno's tall. But, like, other than that, I'm, like, not really thinking about how tall people are. Like, so, like, when I pulled something like Nick Subin, like, yeah, I guess when I thought about it, I was like, yeah, I did know he was tall, but never thought about it before.
And JB, I think,
JB's one of the tallest. Hyunjin's one of the tallest.
Right. And Lido, you had, I was like, oh, I would never, like, they're a small group, I feel like, but... Sure, like, yeah, I guess he's the tallest.
Yeah, like, there's just people I just, like, didn't... And, like, Wonu is one of the tallest, and I was like, okay, sure, never really thought about it before, but...
And then, yeah. And even, like, Younghoon from One We, too, it's like, okay.
Yeah, like, sure.
Again.
Anyway. So, to summarize, basically, for me, middle of the pack sub-vocalists with mid-sub rappers coming in second place. I had top percentages for dancers. What? Top percentages for dancers among categories. What the fuck does that mean? Oh, I see. Like, in terms of the categories, dancers topped each category twice, like mains and leads, whereas rappers was only once and vocals was only once. So, like, I guess also a bit of an affinity for bomb dancers. You had your tops was your sub vocalists followed by sub rappers, and the top percentages among your categories were vocalists. So mains and subs, you had 2 vocalists and then 1 rap, 1 dance. obviously visuals for myself and leaders for you.
Hell yeah.
And then tall idols for both of us, but a very close short idols for me.
Yeah, this next category is also short.
Yeah, so that was basically what that person did. And then I remembered how you always say like the 97 curse. So I was like, okay, let me do the year thing. But also just for fun, I pulled the producer thing, but this is just what is listed on there. I think more of these people are considered producers or composers or whatever. But like, I have 3 producers on my list: Suga, RM, and Changbin. Suga, RM, and Changbin, producers on my list. On your list, RM and Bangchan.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I think there's more technically.
Yeah, probably.
But
yeah.
whatever. And then I pulled all the birth years for everyone. And
Crazy.
actually, interestingly enough, we both have a 1994 leaning. You have 4 of your biases are 1994, and 3 of mine are 1994. And funnily enough, the 3 are the exact same.
Honestly, thank God, though. That's probably a good thing for us to have 94, like, as their main one.
I will say, in my earlier one, before I landed on 15, you were tied 97 and 94 with 3 each. And I was tied 94 and 98 with 3 each.
Right.
But then we switched things up, and it was 94.
Yeah, like the next one for me. Yeah, so 94 is 27% of my biases, and yours is 20%. And then my next one is 97.
Yeah.
So I was like pretty accurate in my 97 assumptions.
Yeah, you had a clear like second one. For me, it's all 2 people for everything.
Yeah, you're quite actually evenly broken across all years. So.
And then
funny.
just to like summarize, like again, you originally had no short biases or no face biases until you added Jackson.
So rude of me.
Both of our leads were pretty low in comparison to like mains and subs, and our dancer preferences are pretty low as well, I thought. Mine jumped up a little bit when I like sorted out the BTS stuff, so and then like, to be honest, I thought I would have a vocal preference and you would have a rapper preference, but we both have a vocal preference with a close second rapper. And then the leader and visual definitely checks out, I think.
Yes, that is the most on track result of this is I've always been drawn to leaders, you've always been drawn to the pretty ones for sure. And then personality comes later, but yes.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, like technically everyone has a magnet bias, because be serious.
I mean,
everyone loves Jungkook. And then the year thing we already summarized. And then just like a funny aside, I was like Googling everyone's height, and for us, it only gave the 4 guys' heights. Didn't give a height for Wanu, and it didn't give one for Raven, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
So I was like,
Raven was the tallest one, I'm pretty sure, though.
Okay.
But yeah.
So I was like, well, okay. So I just like Googled a picture of them in a line, and Wanu is like a full head shorter than everybody else.
He's for sure. I mean, I could have definitely told you that too. He's definitely the smallest member of that group, like by a mile. He's small. He's a small guy, but he's.
It is funny to see this picture of them though, and he's like in the center. So.
Yeah. He. I think he's the tallest, I believe. Well, you had Lido too. Those two look similar. Anyway, you had Lido as at least one of the tallest for sure. But
I listed him as tallest, so he must have been listed first. Because if it was in the second place, then I would say I was saying like one of the tallest. So he must have been first. Okay. But well, those are the facts, funny. Okay? So think about that next time you tell people anything about you.
But for real, the biggest one was the tallest stat for me is insane. Like, again, I very much be like, I don't care about height. Like, I don't in general, but like, oh my god.
I mean, there's nothing, we never choose them based off this.
No, but
it's just funny how it worked out that way. I really thought I was going to have a short one.
For sure.
Especially once I started separating my BTS ones, I was like, if I'm adding Jimin in here, like, come on, man. I thought Wooyoung was one of the shorter ones, but he's like literally directly in the middle. So I was like, phew, whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah, for some reason I thought he was short, but he's not.
Who?
Wooyoung from Ateez.
Oh, Wooyoung. Sorry. My brain, you said Wooyoung, but my brain said Wonwoo, and I was like, what are you talking about? But Wooyoung. Okay, yeah, let's talk about this. Okay, so this is interesting. This is quite, like, I think this is, you were teasing this to me earlier. This was the thing, right?
Yeah.
That
Well, it was between that
God.
and the bias line thing that I was like, I have things
That
that I
was
need to clarify later.
I mean, I am coming to an awakening. I think. Okay, let's talk about you first. So Wooyoung, that is so interesting because I remember we had a conversation not too long ago about. You're like, I guess my bias would have to be Wooyoung now. And I was like, well, he's not a bad bias to have. I think he's a decent bias. So it is interesting that you decided to go that route, or your heart chose to
It
go
is
that
funny
route.
to me because I think I've done this before where I like said something like that in the early stages where I was like, maybe this guy, but then I like get into it and I'm like, no, not this guy. And then like it come back around, I'm like, it is this guy.
I know, and I think that's what's happening to me right now. I think
As we speak.
I know it's a very interesting. This is live, guys. This is live reaction, but I think Jin is my BTS bias, and it's kind of throwing me off because I love RM. I love him to death. But if I really think and break it down, there's something about Jin about him that always kills me. And like, and I think there's something there. But I think it goes back to me that one time I saw an interview of something along the lines of him being like it's easier to make other people happy than make myself happy, and I was like, damn, that resonates hard with me. So, and then the Gucci Jen walked out, and I was like, well,
I mean, yeah, he's been serving, so.
But also RM, look again, like I said, that's insane. Anyway, okay, so it's like very close, but I think if I'm being really honest with myself, it is Jin is my bias and RM's my bias record. Yo, crazy.
I originally was thinking like that RM would be a bias wrecker for me as well, and then I was like, I guess a line would be Jungkook and Jimin, but then I was like, that seems weird. That's too much like differentiating, so I just put them all on the line.
That tracks for you, yeah. Like obviously Yoongi, you got Yoongi, but those three track. Because I also would agree, like there's Jin for me, and then I feel like there's like the Wrecker, but then there's also Jungkook and Jimin. Like I can't not also acknowledge them too in some capacity. And then like J-Hope's kind of chilling there. Like I don't think he would ever get up there, but I'm like he's been really showing up recently.
It depends on
like,
what he's doing. Like when he was on tour, then it was like, yeah, of course.
Yeah, so I don't know. It is a wild thing to go through. And then for me, if we're talking about Stray Kids, yeah, it's always been Bangtan. Like I will never. Again, it's so interesting when you like reckon or have what did I used to call it? Imprinting.
Yeah.
When you imprint like that. Like I'm never going to go away. Sometimes things that he does do bug me, but I'm like, no,
Yeah.
I'm in love with him forever. But at the concert, I was like, holy moly, Hyunjin is for sure my record. I was like, this guy is insane. I was like, this guy? So that really like resonated. But again, like you said, I could easily have a line too in Stray Kids. But those two are very clear to me. Clear cut. Bangtan and Hyunjin. So.
I think you could almost make an argument for OT8 also.
Oh, for sure. For sure. Because, like, especially now,
Yeah.
like, Sungmin and IN, before we were like, they're really, but now they're, like, really coming into their own, and you're like, oh, my lord.
Yeah. But I had to be real. Yeah, this
to be real,
required
exactly.
detail.
And the other thing for me, that was the awakening, was GOT7. Oh, my god. All of a sudden, I was like, I can't, like, I've imprinted. Like, I've fully imprinted on Bam Bam. Like, I can't go back now. Like, I can't see it any differently. It's so weird because I was like, oh yeah, JB's great. I'm like, no, there's something about Bam. Again, I know exactly when it was. It was Mark's birthday post. I was like, who the fuck is this guy? Bareface. I was like, I was like, okay, he's doing something. And I was like, okay. And then Jackson's his own thing. So sure, he could be a wrecker because he's...
Yeah, I mean, I put him under GOT7, but I'm a bit of a solo stan, I guess. I mean, I like GOT7, but like when it comes to Jackson's work itself, I'm a bit more of a solo stan. I actually almost took JB off my list just because like I don't know enough about everyone yet, but like then I'll see like some reels and I'm like, okay, fine, I'll keep him on here.
Exactly, that's kind of why I had it there too. I was like, oh yeah, he's like, yeah, he's obviously good looking and he seems to be a cool guy. Like everything you said about like him wanting to be like a really good leader, and he kept the mark, and Jackson said, no, we're not doing this. I really like that. And he was very open about his mental health, and he was very, you know, you told me about the research, that he was doing all the research when they were left JYP. I'm like, okay, that he's clearly a really cool dude in that capacity, so sure. But then imprinted, then I can't go back. And he's 97, so like obviously.
I mean, not obviously.
I know, apparently 94, which JB is it in the 94? Oh.
To be honest, the like further breakdown would be like just the biases to see where just like your top people land, and then where your like secondary people land, but that's later, I guess.
Yeah, well, but you can break down, but
because even your leader thing, like technically not your main biases.
Not
like JB,
sure. Only Bangchan, really.
Yeah, JB, RM. I mean, Subin, I guess is
are no longer around
for TXT. Just whatever.
And Younghoon, I guess technically from 1 week, but he's also a part of a line for me. So
yeah, but like if you were really looking at like your main people, it wouldn't be quite as high. Which is
my goodness.
For me, yeah, even the visuals would be maybe slightly different because like Hyunjin is just part of the line, but Mingyu.
It's also
like Minho is the fourth visual, so I'm like.
I was also gonna say like it also blows my mind when I think again of I'm looking at all the ages in order. To think that Mino and Key are like the oldest is weird in my head.
When I was writing it, like it felt weird to put them underneath like Yoongi and Jin.
Yeah, I
was like, they're older than Yoongi and Jin.
yeah. It's just it's again it's a weird dynamic, right? Or like we have like Jungkook and Mingyu are the same age, but like I mean they have similar vibes, but like Jungkook is like the golden Magnite and Mingyu's like the middle of the age group of 17. It's just it's odd. It's super weird, but I mean fascinating. Do you have any more bias updates that we should discuss? Because you have put me through the ringer here. I'm reckoning with myself.
I mean, just be honest with yourself.
You have to. I know. Everyone out there, this is the bias effect. You have to be honest with yourself. Biases are not always straightforward, or what you think is going to be what it is going to be. Not always.
Yeah, I kind of feel like I could probably pare this down a little bit more, like take some people out, but needed a good, like the person whose article I read had like 50 people on it. And I was like, what are we talking about? Like, it'd be interesting when we start getting more into girl groups and we have more like a variety of biases to maybe revisit like in a year from now and see what's different.
Yes, we have to. Okay, clock that for later. Bias recap a year from now.
See how the percentages have changed.
But okay, so yeah, I like 94s, tall dudes, I guess, leaders mostly, vocalists, and now I have to go sit with that.
Yeah, vocalists, visuals, tall.
Insane.
I mean, our types are not that far off.
No, which is interesting.
Yeah, true.
I wouldn't think that, but because there's some people. There's just some people on my list that you would be like, no.
I mean, yeah, like I'm sure, yeah.
So yeah, but there's nowhere really on your yeah. I guess there are some people on your list I'd be like, no. Not like because of necessarily like they're just
Not your vibe.
and that's not my vibe. Not my vibe. Ooh, well, that was a trip. I was not expecting that, so thank you for all that math that you had to do for this episode. And I guess that's it, guys. I guess we'll catch you on the flip.
Bye.
Bye.